Welcome to it. If you're just joining us, you still tuned into the weekend setup, and you know what happens here. We give you nothing but the hottest stuff. Ecstatic today because we've got the man in the building. He's in the building. His name is Hillzy. Tell me something. Hilsy is in the building. How did we get there?
So I had a flatmate in first year, and I was always in our room. So every time he would come from class, he'd be on some. Hilsy's in the building.
Well, I'm actually in the building. Listen, who knew it was going to be hot like this today? Hilsy is in the building. It's something that's not a household thing. Like, Hilsy is in the building. So 100%. You must be grateful to him to say, listen, you put me on.
Yes.
Yeah?
No, we actually still laugh about it. So
you're hot on the streets right now with the Naro. It's ranking on number 2 on Apple Music. If you said Zimbabwe, Audio Mac, you're on number 1. How does that feel? I would have a T-shirt that says on Apple Music I'm number 2. Yeah. So how does that feel?
It's humbling, I would say, because the last time I made a release before Naro was like in February with Chargy. So it was really like a long time coming, but it's just amazing that the track just shot up straight to like number 1/number 2.
That's some grace.
Yeah, grace 100%, and just how can I say, the feedback is amazing. It's probably the biggest song I've ever done also. So I'm just excited. It's only been like 3 weeks since it's released, but it's already doing the most. So let's see what happens.
I always like to know if you dream about the day you're gonna make it. Did you see it coming when you produce it? Do you know? I always wonder, because if I were a musician, I would want to know if I go through that euphoria moment where I'm like, this is what's happening. Do you go through that with especially songs like Chargy, Naro? Did you know that what I'm bringing right now is hot?
I think I knew. That part of me
Come
knew.
on, man.
But beyond that, you're not too certain how big the song is going to be, because the size is quite relative. So with Chargy, I also didn't expect that, because that's like an Afrobeat song, and I think that was the first time I was like really trying that out. So it was also like amazing to get like a number 1 Afrobeat song. But I think it was telling the story which I'm trying to tell, which is like Hilsy is a multi-genre artist, and as long as like the music is amazing, I think people will vibe to it. So I can't say like I think 50% of it I know. I'm like, okay, this someone can listen to this, but at the end of the day, it's like the end listener who gets to decide if this is a bang or not.
Take it in.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you this. First time I heard Naro was on TikTok. And then I think I was trying to respond to something in my anger issues there on WhatsApp of like, I didn't know. Then I went to look for the song. And I still sit here and I wonder, how did you come up with that song? Because I use it as a way to tell people things indirectly, like, how did you come up with the song?
So I was in the same headspace with regards to, I feel like I have achieved everything I feel like I want to achieve at this point in time. So I can't really be arguing with people about who I actually am. So I know myself. Hilsy is at a place where, like, mentally, I literally, am where I'm supposed to be. So I can't really... I'm the sweeter.
Listen, you have to get to that point in life where you just like, it's either you're for it or you're not.
Yeah.
And I like that you know where you stand. And speaking about where you stand, 2 weeks ago, you released the album In the Building.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about that album. How did you come to that production? How many tracks are we looking forward to? Are we actually at in the album?
Okay, so In the Building is my 2022 offering. It's got 11 tracks.
Yay, I like that. Please, can you say that again? It's your
2022
offering to us.
Yes.
I need your confidence in life.
But yeah, 100%. So we've got 11 tracks in there. So your popular tracks from this year, my singles, Chargy, Only You, and Naro are all in there. So ideally, what I was just trying to do, or the aim of the project, is to get Hilsy on the African roster. So you have your Wizkid, you have your Davido, but we also want to have like a Hilsy in there. We want people to be like, yeah, Hilsy is in there as well. So that's the aim of the project, puts him on the map, but just beyond that, become a part of the African roster.
Now, speaking about being part of the African roster, I'm thinking to myself, do we have any collaborations internationally on the African roster? Are we looking forward to that? Which producers did you work with there?
So I'll start with the producers. The producers go as far as Germany. I've got 2 producers. So that's for Itamushe and for Forever, my other single. And then locally, there's Beatsmith. I started working with him like way earlier in my career. Then there's also me. I also did like part and parcel of the productions in the project. And then with regards to collaborations, I did a collaboration with someone I met at the Afrima Awards in 2019. His name is Mano Beats. So Mano Beats is from Haiti, but he's based in the United States. So there's a song called Signs. That's the outro. He's on the production there. So with regards to like features, he's the only international feature. Locally, I have a good friend of mine as well, who's on Forever. His name is Henry. The rest of the songs are pretty much me because I just want people to discover all the different kind of sounds that I have to offer. So yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Absolutely lovely. Now, talk to me about being an artist that's across almost all genres, especially with the music that you give us. How well do you feel that we as your fans accept that the difference in one artist? Because usually we know Ningi is in hip-hop and Ningi is in Chakat.
Yeah, I think that's also part and parcel of what I was trying to address on Naro, which was to say, sometimes people want to box you. I make an R&B song and then I make a hip-hop song. Next thing I make a gospel song. And people are like, no, you don't deserve, say like an accolade in this like genre because, you don't do hip-hop, like for an example. But ideally, I think it's just tough to address all the genres because sometimes you have like R&B fans who are hardcore, and the next thing you drop like a rap song and people, it might, But I think that's where I'm trying to get to. I don't want to be an R&B artist or hip-hop. I want to be a pop artist. That is to say, like, anything I like, anything that's just music and it's amazing. I can hop on it. So the journey has been tough, but I think people are starting to get the picture of it, especially with this new project that's out.
Getting the picture, that hashtag, get the picture. Listen, the Mushe song was released on a Friday last week. So you up to the time, on a Friday you're going to bring it in. Talk to us about that, the release. How do you mark your release date? Do you want it to be right on spot, weekend? Tell us all that gist.
So I think I've seen that obviously Friday is when everyone wants just to wind down, go into the weekend, and with just like the advent of like platforms you're talking about like TikTok and YouTube, people are just hungry for, like music and content. So ideally, yes, I have a strong team. Shout out to my team, Point Blank, and there's also Mr. Masin Productions. But yeah, ideally, I make the music and then they pretty much like arrange everything because, perfect planning just gives like perfect performance as well. So it's not just about making good music, it's also about the release. So yes, Friday is the day we essentially chose because, everyone is just winding out and we have the weekend to sort of like play the song in clubs or at home.
So Ita Mushe, what's that? Tite Mushe, was that particularly somebody?
So if you listen to the track, I would say, like, I wouldn't say I'm flexing, but that's literally what my life is.
Hey,
right
you're allowed to own it. Can I own
it? So ideally, I'm just addressing, people like, look, I understand why other people are mad at Hilsy right now. Because he's in the building and the building is hot.
So if I get it correctly, this album In the Building, you came through, and number one, you said understand that on him.
Yes.
And some parts you told us it's emotion. I'm gonna take it to myself this whole weekend to listen to the whole album, and I'm coming back to you with what I want to gather because I feel like you really came through entirely. But listen. Tell us are you performing anywhere this weekend and also your festive plans. It is festive season.
Yeah, 100%. So this weekend we are preparing for next weekend. We have a show that's going to be like my first appearance with regards to like the last project. So I just wanted to give people time to memorize the lyrics. Yeah, and there's nothing that's as awesome as just seeing the crowd singing along with the lyrics. And sometimes you want to rest on the crowd. Like on the stage,
I've seen those
and
videos.
And then people are just singing along. It just also energizes you. So I think that's what we are trying to do. So like the show will be like the weekend of the 10th of December, and by then obviously, like most of the diaspora people would have came back as well. So that's like the Christmas EP, I would say.
Listen, it's been nice hanging out with you this evening. You seem to be well organized with weekends, so hopefully we are going to catch up with you, one of these weekends, and then we are going to memorize the album. So we'll see you on the 10th. It's been lovely hanging out there with Hilsy. He is in the building tonight. And please do check out the album. It is in the building. And of course, you keep in touch with us. That's at hashtag ZTN Prime Channel 294 on DSTV. And also hashtag Get the Picture. Hashtag The Weekend Startup.